What's up, y'all? Welcome to another weekly live astrology horoscope. This is the Peace Dealer. I got my bro Jax with me. How you
How's it
doing?
going, everybody?
Word for those who aren't aware, Jax is 100% Future Life fam and also former member of the Triune. Is the Triune still the name, or is it like different?
Yeah, so it's now called the Vivid Path, and I started a group recently called the Vibrant Self, and that one I'm teaching all sorts of different things. But anyone who joins the Vibrant Self also is part of the Vivid Path. So we're doing like two groups for one. It's really cool.
Okay. So yeah, other than that, shout out to all y'all in the live chat. Thank you guys for your patience. This week has definitely been it's hard to say that this week has been intense when like every week so far has been
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah, this week is definitely taking it there for sure. Thanks for the tip, Cindy. Yeah, if anything, we also are going to be doing a hexagonal astrological chart reading. This is a series we'll frequently come back and do. So we'll just show you a sneak peek at the end of what's to come. And other than that, um, it's how have you felt so far this week?
I've had a different experience than a lot of my fellow Libras. A lot of fellow Libras have just been like, I'm so emotional right now. Like it's just like I don't know. It's like everything was great and it dropped down. For me, it was like I don't know. Maybe it's just because I got a lot of stuff in the eighth house, but it just feels like this transition over these past like few days have just been amazing. Like it's just been absolutely amazing the last 2 weeks.
You could see it on your beard. Your
Yeah.
magenta.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. The beard is listening. Yeah. When we get into Sagittarius, we'll see how that goes as it happens. But yeah, no, I've absolutely loved the energy. I felt extremely high energy, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable at some points. But honestly, everything is clearly wanting to be channeled. Like it wants to be directed. Even something like if it comes up like resentment or something, that wants to be channeled into understanding. And like that's how it's felt recently. It's been like, like do something about it. Do something about it. Don't just feel it. Do something. So it's been a like a call to action. It's been interesting.
I always love it when cardinal signs say do. It's like,
Right, right. Well, we have the original do when we're talking about it, and then talking about it, and then we've got the actual do if we actually do it. But yeah, it's I have a hard time with the going through with projects, but yeah, it's constant. I should do this. I should really start a business on this, and it just who knows whatever happens to it next.
but yeah, I mean, it's really exciting times we're in. We've just finished a whole year of Jupiter and Scorpio, so that was definitely a lot more vulnerable than I expected it to be, and
Yeah.
it's definitely helped me embrace my insecurities like never before. How about you?
Yeah, insecurities definitely. It's almost like for me this last year, like the last like 18 months have been okay, recognize every insecurity you have. Okay? So recognize all of it. And then sort of as this transition goes through, like get comfortable with those things so you can turn them into places of security, even sometimes more so than the rest of the things you were secure about. And then just recently it's been like, hey, here's a quick reminder. Here's all the things you were insecure about. So make sure that you go ahead and look those directly in the eyes again. So it's been kind of shock and awe, but it's been good. I like the way that it's pushed things forwards. I don't know. There's been like a lot of down times this year and like a lot of quiet moments, and it just feels like now we're sort of I don't know. Everything's being talked about, or at least like everyone's trying to talk about it. Not everyone's talking about it correctly, or like doing it in any sort of right way, but we're all trying to have the conversation. So that's good.
That's you know
Yeah.
what that's really great to keep in mind, like the effort.
Right.
I think it's easy to be so preoccupied on getting it right. At least you gotta give it to yourself for doing something.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just what's up. And this week alone is very impactful. Venus is going back into Libra. Mercury's in Sag right now.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that opposition with Venus and Uranus?
I like it because I feel like if this opposition doesn't prompt some sort of conflict, then we're never going to have a resolution. Like if we stay comfortable, then we're just going to be in danger of, at best case scenario, mediocrity, and like a lot of our understandings of our relationship and how we build friendships with people. So right now it's almost like, yeah, it's going to be really far out and it's going to be uncomfortable and there will be conflict, but like,
Yeah.
don't avoid it. Like look at it directly. I'm excited about it. I'm feeling really good about it.
And on that note, I remember when I saw you in person recently, you mentioned something like that. I tried to quote you after, but I'd like to hear it from you. And it was something to the effect of, sometimes when you try and hold back what you really want to say, or sometimes when you try and be nice, you might be doing a disservice instead of like actively confronting or.
Exactly. I would, yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. And it applies to me personally, and I feel like it applies to a lot of Libras, but honestly, I think like everyone can get in on this, which is it's actually so much more harmful to avoid confrontation. Like it's so much more dangerous because not only is it addictive, not only does it feel so much simpler and safer to just avoid all confrontation, you're disrespecting a person when you don't confront them about something because you're saying, well, I don't believe that you could actually change, therefore I'm not going to confront you. And that's like a sentencing, like you're basically saying you're sentenced to this truth forever. And if you confront them, then you say there's potential for change here. And if you can't, or if you won't, and if you don't want to adjust this, fine. And then we actually have a resolution and we can go our separate ways. But confrontation is the responsible thing to do. It's not negative. Confrontation is what's required to build or maintain any philosophy and to actually like put anything into practice in real life.
You hear that, Cancers,
yeah.
and
Right? Oh my God. Yeah, there's been a lot of that going on for sure.
Oh yeah.
I've actually specifically with a lot of Cancers in my life, I've been like, no, but say something though. No, but like really say something. No, but like say something though. Like trust me, do it. Yeah, you're right. It does suck. It does suck. I know it is going to be nerve-wracking. I'm not saying it's not going to be bad. It's going to be terrible. But once you've done it, then you'll be able to have some resolution from that.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also for those interested, once again, if you are curious about your life path number, if you're curious about your soul number, I do have a link to a numerology report, a free numerology report. It's interactive. Nice. It's in the description box below. It's badass. Do you know your life path number, Jax?
I believe 11.
Oh, no way.
What are you?
I'm a 9. I'm a 9.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love the master numbers though. That's what I do.
I always meet 11s and 9s. So occasionally I meet like a 2, just like every once in a while. Maybe it's like when I need a break or something. But yeah, lots of 9s and 11s.
So to talk a little bit more about 11, they usually have that pressure of kind of like, I think there's that risk of never really express. No, there's not that risk. But I know that the downside or the challenge of 11 is like, I'm not saying it right, but it's like there's so much Piscean energy. It's hard to like break out because, but every 11 I've seen does it naturally anyway. So that's
yeah. With 11s, it's really tricky because there's the price tag of knowing. Like the real price tag of knowing is understanding. Yeah, no, you do have this original, interesting thought, which is really cool. But you also know for a fact that this type of personality type is going to look at it and just say, oh, that's idealistic, or, that's just not very realistic, or they're going to shut it down in this different way. And so, as well, like all the reasons not to do it. And they're just so like, they feel so much more overwhelmingly difficult to surpass. But if you do it, if you just say what's on your mind, 11, like it feels good. And people shock you by actually being interested. They really will. It seems like they won't, I know, but like they actually do care.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's really good. But yeah, make sure you take advantage. Once again, it's a free, it's interactive. I personally purchased the report. It's very extensive. I think it's like 28 pages. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing that. But other than that, I was gonna save this to later, but Jax and I are going to be a part of the Viridian Summit. So you
That's
guys have
right.
been asking for meetups. This is the first meetup. If you can,
November 10th.
Ellie. Woo. November 10th, 2018.
That's right.
What do you could you give us a sneak peek of what the summit is all about?
Yeah. So the summit is, I mean, we're going to cover like a lot of different things, tarot and astrology and energy healing. We're going to do a lot with energy healing. So anyone that's always been tentative about getting into that, like you'll get like a full spectrum of different interesting things. It's really though, like a lot of it's focused on abundance. So, and like the talk that I'm giving, the fearful self versus the authentic self in pursuit of abundance, like it's like everyone kind of has these different themes that they're looking at or that they're approaching it by, but it really all comes down to how do I manifest? What do I really have to be and do? Not what sounds like really good and like, you know, I can share it on like a Facebook post or whatever, but what actually can I do to make this happen? So there's a lot of that going on there, and it's going to be really cool. We're going to be covering a little bit of everything, honestly.
Oh, I can't wait. We got the
Yeah.
all-stars here. As you guys can see, oops. Here's I'm gonna show y'all a sneak peek. It's from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We got Ari and you know the Leo King holding it down. So yeah, it's gonna be in Huntington Beach. Make sure you there. Make
right.
sure just ignore all the tabs that I have up there because
Yeah.
anyway.
I almost wish I had read some of them. So I could be like, announcing tab number 4. Yeah.
All right. Oh God. Oh God, imagine. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I like how you mentioned too, there's gonna be a little bit of everything there. So
Yeah.
but I mean, I can already tell like there's just gonna be so many amazing people there. Jupiter's gonna be in Sag. It's gonna feel like a party.
That's right.
Very excited. So make sure you guys come through. I think it's gonna be live too, so you should be able to stream it if you can't be there physically. Okay.
Yeah, I think from High Vibe TV and maybe the Leo King as well.
Yes, it is a high vibe production, so definitely true. And yeah, let me see. Yeah, so Venus is 29 degrees retrograde. Let's talk about Venus a little bit.
Yeah.
I see that as like restructuring relationships and connections. Like, okay, I don't mess with this social circle because this is who I am. Now I'm meeting new friends, or my relationship with this person is switching based on who we are. So I know it's a lot bigger than that, but how do you feel Mars and Aquarius connects with that as well?
Yeah, honestly, it's like all about exposure. It's like if there's been any particular 10-year problems or those things that aren't really talked about or the talk never really finishes concluding, all those are being exposed right now. There's no armor there. So it's almost like there happens to be a lot of people that are going to put a little pinprick in like, oh, you've got kind of like this weakness here. Like the two of you never communicate about this. Oh, it looks like we haven't really had a chat about the fact that we've never gained agreement on this like very simple fact in our relationship. We've looked around the edges of it. We've sort of checked, all the garnishes and everything, but we haven't actually looked at the main dish itself or like the issue here. It's not fully cooked, like it's like this is dangerous. So that's honestly, that to me, it's like all about the exposure of the armor and looking at each and every particular weakness, and it wants to be seen. So this is definitely not the time for avoidance. It's the time to like look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, it feels like. How do you feel as a Libra? That it's
I'm so for me, I'm just like loving it. So as soon as Libra season starts for me, it's like, oh cool. So I get like basically 30 days of, like having all the right things to say at all the right times. And that's awesome. And then we're starting to like transition, into Scorpio. We already have. And now it's more so like there's less of that, but there's almost more of this like, oh, internally, I can do that same thing. I've got all the right things to say to my deepest, darkest self at all the right times so that I can do something about it. But we're a little bit pulled back more. Not wallflower. I mean, at least not for me. Like it definitely feels like it's a really good time to be social, a really good time to strengthen some relationships. But really right now it's all about if I strengthen the relationship with myself, then I'm going to actually be capable of really engaging with another person. There's like this inability right now to be inauthentic. And it's really tricky because a lot of times, Libra will make the excuse, no, I know that was a little bit inauthentic, but like I'm doing it for the sake of politeness. I'm trying to protect their feelings. And it's like, no, stop doing that. No. And so I'm having chats with myself all the time. I'm like, no, you're protecting their feelings right now, but those feelings are going to get bigger and bigger over the next few weeks if you don't, stop protecting them. So stop protecting them at all costs.
And honestly, to be fair, there was a time where that was needed, where people's egos were too fragile, and it's not like it came from nowhere. But you're right. Now is the time to, like, more so than ever, like, come out, hands, And I'm just so excited about this Sagittarius. The way I see Sag is this dark energy that Scorpio works at the core. In most cases, is unseen unless you're a water sign. So it all comes to light in Sag.
Yeah.
And you get to really see it. So this week with Mercury there, I really feel like things are going to be coming into greater awareness. I mean, it's so crazy how in tune our intent is with the universe and synchronicity. Yeah. Yesterday, I was like, make the impossible intention that your mind thinks is impossible. And I was like, I believe I could fly. Right. I believe I could touch the sky. And then, like, hours later, I get an email from Wish talking about, I believe I could fly. And it's like the universe rolling.
I have had in the past 48 hours, almost every person that I talk to on a regular basis has texted me what I'm thinking. They'd be like, oh, hey, check out this song. And that's weird because I was thinking of this song, or I was just listening to that song. Or they'll, like, say not only what I was going to say to them, like, later, but they say it in the same wording that I would have used. And I'm like, okay, am I, like, really projecting here? Or is, like, everyone psychically, like, listening to me right now? There's, like, a lot of that. Show. It's like, like, do you guys know what's going on with me? It's crazy.
They're just like these universal Wizard of Oz is just like,
exactly. No, seriously, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. It's Challenger Queen says something great. Like, that's such a coincidence. I think our generation is having to ask, like, what is coincidence anymore?
Right.
What's the line? When is or is there really no coincidence? Because that's really so perplexing.
That's a big one. I would say that, coincidence does exist to a degree, but, like, any time that I'm ever focused on, like, teaching someone about their intuition, or teaching someone about claircognizance and how they can kind of tap into that, it's always like, assume that it's not a coincidence first, and then later you can give that to it. But it's, like, really important that everyone trusts their intuition and that they kind of go for it. So, like, if it feels like, oh, that could technically be a coincidence, but it just was so moving emotionally, like, assume that it's more than coincidence. Always assume that it's more. And then, like, work your way backwards as you get, comfortable with intuition. Solid. Specifically for all the people that are trying to connect to that right now.
Because honestly, like, and I spoke with an Aquarius woman last night or yesterday or 2 days ago, and she was talking about how Neptune is limitless, and how it's like the paintbrush, and how, like, as you imagine, your reality creates itself. There's that whole, I'm sure it doesn't work that way for everyone, but there's that whole, like, block that can occur where it's like, do I really know what I want?
Right, exactly.
Will it really come in? We have some video issues. If you can, like, turn on and off your webcam again.
What's happening here? Okay, can you see me okay?
I see your image, so I think your equipment is good. It's just some interference. Oh, I see you now. We see you now.
All right, perfect. Okay, and you can hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. For some reason, my phone was so excited by the live that it went from 100 to 20% within the span of, like, 15 minutes we've been talking. So
I wonder if live videos just drain battery power like that, but
maybe
that's next level. Like, yeah.
It's impressive. It's impressive. But now I got it plugged into a charger, so I think we'll be okay. But it's just been wild recently. There's just been so many, like, direct, like, universes, like, hey, look at me. look at me and what I'm trying to do right now. And it's like, okay, I'm looking. Like, I might as well, because at this point, you're just not going to stop talking until like I look over at what you're doing.
That is such a great way
Yeah.
to put it. It's such a great way to put it. I've started from someone who doesn't have powers of sight with all this energy moving in the Sag. It's like I can start to see a little bit. It's like I can. It's weird because I'm stepping into it. And this once again brings me back to Neil Ticey deGrasse, who said we may be living in higher realms, but we just can't perceive it yet.
Right.
And it's like I can almost perceive people psychically looking at me or just energy looking at me through like feeling them as if they're here and just seeing like flashes. I know if I was a Sagittarius, I'd like see,
Right.
but it gives me respect for you higher zodiac signs with spiritual awareness because it's a whole new world. And we're trining Neptune. So, synchronicity and intuition is about to get even crazier. Shout out to Starry Ari in the building. I was just thinking about her when I said Sagittarius. She's like the super Sag of the clique, which is awesome. But yeah, I'm once again really excited for Mercury and Sag because I feel like this will really give us much needed meaning. This is a really great time to understand the synchronicities and signs you've been seeing for years, for it to all come around and for it to really make sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, I actually want to comment on something you said about the higher zodiac signs, because for zodiac signs 1 through 6, what I notice is that I've heard that comment a lot, like, oh, I can't literally, see, like you guys, like I can't literally see the energy, but a lot of times it just takes finding the shortcut. They have to have like a special shortcut. So it can be clairtangency, like I literally feel the energy, or it can be clairaudience, like I'm literally hearing it. But you can work on the sort of your escape route or your shortcut to the point where you branch it over into clairvoyance, branching it over into seeing energy, and through some practice exercises and things like that. So it's definitely, absolutely still possible. But I agree with you, because what a lot of people, and this is my immediate kind of charlatan alert with a lot of people out there who they have like a very vague way of looking at the abilities, and they say it works exactly the same all the time. It's like, if you're paying attention, really, we can feel that as the year changes, as we go through the different seasons, even with just the moon cycle, the abilities and the way that they work change, like constantly. They're constantly flowing. So sometimes you can have someone who's the most clairvoyant person in the world, and they'll only be feeling, what's going on with them, emotionally feeling it. And other times they'll have vision breakthroughs and different vision things that happen. So with a lot of the people out there that worry, like, or that sort of present the idea that they're just like this mega psychic and that they can always see, and if you can't do it then you're not one of them, those people, I mean, to me, they're just charlatans, because their abilities have to consistently change for the same reason we have REM cycle, for the same reason we have to get rest and then be wakeful and then have different energy types. It applies to everything. Everything's like on this constant waving motion, including the abilities, especially the abilities.
that was
So,
deeply
yeah.
insightful. That was really insightful, and it's encouraging to know that these can be developed.
Yes, they can. And a lot of people think that they can, or they think that they can to a degree, but that they'll be limited. And it's like only in the degree that, yes, there are some people that are born with the ability to do math in their head with the extremely large equations quickly. And other people will have to train, like a lot. But we all can do that math. We can all do that math. It's just part of the equation. We've got it built in.
That's super awesome. That's really dope. So, I mean, shout out to Taylor Grayson, who said Gemini's automatic writing. I didn't really think much about that until, as opposed to like 10 years, I can really just write like 3 pages, just like that. I figured, I saw it too logical. I was like, okay,
I'm jealous.
Appreciate you. I think it's more Mercury than anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
For me, I'm like, is this opening line beautiful? Like, is it truly beautiful? Will this like capture their entire soul? And it's like, well, you've been here for 10 hours, so maybe you should just like give it a shot for the first line and then go ahead and, keep writing the rest of it. Maybe we can give that a shot. That's what my, conscience says. But then my Libra self's just like, no, but it has to be like the line that like awakens them from life. And it's like, yeah, but they don't need to awaken for life. You know, like this, like they can just go ahead and like read what you're saying and maybe get to that point eventually. And it's just, yeah, it's this hilarious back and forth inside.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's that whole, yeah. That's that. Well, we know where that death comes from, but yeah, that's really dope. It's someone asked, why do you keep dividing so many parts of yourself? Um, I'm not sure. I'm taking that more as like an abstract question.
Like the human species, why do we keep dividing ourselves in like politically?
No, yeah, it's a great question. I think she meant Nika. If you could clarify, I'm assuming you were
That's a
even.
good question. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth getting after. But outside of that, I would like to speak a little bit on once again, like, and this is okay. No, she said no. My Libra side, my other side. Okay, but it's interesting because one thing I love about astrology, one thing that I love about this path is it proves that we're so like we're all unique, right? But we go through so much of the same things. I don't think we know how much of the same things we go through. And one thing that's been coming up as a real theme is a lot of people having auditory hallucinations and feeling schizophrenic, more so now than ever, especially induced by marijuana or other substances, but even without it. And I see this as more because we're entering that age, Pluto Aquarius, where we're all telepathically linked at a stronger level, which is, I feel theoretically. But yeah, how do you feel about the auditory? Well, first of all, I was going to say for those of you feeling like you're crazy because you're hearing voices, especially if you're Pisces, especially if you have Cap or these air sign energies, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. I'm not going to tell you not to take pharmaceutical
Right.
medications because these are ways to manage this. But I will tell you to not feel like you're sick. I will tell you that you're not crazy. You're not unnormal for evolving, for actually, hearing this in. And there definitely needs to be a better perspective about this. So it's not just seen as some kind of illness, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say just look at consistency in tone, right? If you're dealing with schizophrenia, you're not going to have the consistency. There's going to be a huge lack of consistency. There might be like a theme that comes up often, but there's not going to be consistency. But
Oh,
if
gotcha.
you're getting like a hallucination, what you're concerned about maybe being a hallucination, it might be clairaudience and you're not sure which is which. You give it, validate it, give it a shot. Okay, write it down. Okay, so this voice told me this person's feeling this way, and then go try and confirm it. Go see, like go see if that's actually the case. And if it's telling you something to do something awful to yourself or to another person, that's not something that intuition's going to need to come up with, because intuition's always guiding you onto a path of the highest potential. I almost want to say the highest good, but that insinuates that there's never anything difficult. There are difficult things that are in intuition as well, but just focusing on, okay, what's it saying? So it's saying to do this, this, and this. Okay, cool. So how does that affect me? Research it. Act as if it's like a valid person coming to you, and they're bringing something to your attention, and then you can see for yourself. And if it's just this inconsistent, garbled nonsense, then maybe eventually it will start to become a point where you want to talk about that to someone. But if there's a level of consistency and the tone is for bringing things together, the tone is for the highest best potential for multiple people,
Yeah.
there's a good chance you're having a clairaudient breakthrough, and you should pay attention to it. The number one thing that happens with intuition is people will get intuitive pulses in one way or another,
Yeah.
and then they'll say, oh, well, maybe the reason that I knew that was because like in like a subconscious sense, like I watched the way their eyebrow twitched, and like that's how I pieced it together. And they'll talk themselves out of their intuitive experiences, and the
Yeah.
intuition will be like, oh, cool, so you don't respect me, so I don't even need to confront. And so it's difficult to build a relationship. I did this class called Befriending Your Intuition, and it's because if you personify your intuition and your abilities, if you treat them like they're a person, you just got to think, what would you do with a person to have the best possible communication? You'd listen to them respectfully, and you'd speak to them respectfully. You'd give what they're saying a chance. You'd validate what they're saying to the degree that's normal, and like you'd give it a shot. And so that's what I would say. I almost forgot the question that Nika had earlier, dividing myself. For me, I don't think it's a necessity to divide myself by any means, but for me, just in kind of the way I think, I love to personify every single thing. I love to personify my anger, my sadness, my sort of Libra traits as a self, because a lot of people have commented to me throughout my life, like, I don't know, it's really weird. Sometimes you're just very like rigid and focused on just the logical facts, and sometimes you're just all flowy and like a hippie, and you're just like talking about feelings, man. And like, so I'm not, multiple people or anything like that, but I definitely like to personify it because it helps me stay like organized with how I'm projecting things and how I'm receiving things. And that's just like it's actually like a method that's very personal to me. But yeah, other people handle it differently. Some people feel very grounded as a singular self, and that all of it is in one place. I
And
hope that is an explanation that makes some sense. For me, it just is how I organize my all my thoughts.
I love how you spoke on the breakthrough, the clairaudient breakthrough rather geniusly. And that's one thing that's happening for everyone now in breakthrough. And I think one common misconception with psychic work is that because it's an intuition, it has to be 100% true or fact. When it's more so a precognitive sensory awareness. So what I mean by that is, don't hate on yourself, or don't expect miraculous results during breakthrough periods, because
Right.
the breakthrough of these psychic powers are manifesting themselves in mild mental illnesses. Clairaudient breakthroughs will manifest itself in some audio hallucinations or schizophrenia until you're aware of what it is. So as you're going through that process, you want to embrace these
Yeah.
issues instead of feel like, oh, this is that. And once again, like, don't, just because you get a reading, just because you get an intuition, it's like science. In fact, I'm learning more so than ever, you can't separate science and spirituality. They're the same. Just like biologists make experiments, astrologers make forecasts like meteorologists. And we're not going, just because someone gives you a psychic intuition doesn't mean it's supposed to be 100% right. We say that if a psychic is wrong, they're fraud, unless they're like lying and using their skills to deceive. But, give yourself the ability to be wrong, because maybe you just interpreted it wrong, and
Right.
you're just learning how to kind of come into it.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I kind of joke, I'm like, look, if your goalpost is like the ghost whisperer, if you think that like intuition is gonna be like you get like this lightning bolt and like you see their face and like their whole life story and you get like this movie, it's like it doesn't really like work like that. Even once you developed them, it doesn't quite work like that in a lot of cases. You can get some very clear images eventually, but when you're starting out, you got to remember, it starts out, I believe that intuition and speech kind of co-evolved, and eventually speech took over intuition, and that's like another discussion. We got to have that sometime. But intuition starts with just very primary base things, like that person's going to be trouble, and you don't have a reason why, and you don't feel like you're being judgmental. There's
Yeah.
you don't hate them or anything. It's just like that person's going to be trouble, or
Yeah.
that person, like they actually like care, like they genuinely do care. And intuition can be like, I need to hurry up and get to this place. I don't know exactly why. It's very base stuff, and eventually, as you respect it like as a person and you
True.
continue to work alongside it, eventually you'll get more and more details, because you're showing that in your friendship with intuition you're ready to discuss the deeper subjects.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially as you build neural pathways to kind of strengthen that as well. That's genius as well. Personifying it. I think I myself have been guilty of pissing my intuition off, and it's just like, all right, go on, do whatever.
Who wouldn't? Because we live in a world where of course, we want to be logical. We want to be correct. We want to have evidence for things. And intuition is going to make sure that we take kind of like a little leap of faith on ourselves and on it before we can make those breakthroughs. So to anyone who's a skeptic, I'm like, good, thanks. That means that you're smart. You're smart to be skeptical of that. At the same time, even the skeptic has to be open to new data. you have to be open to new data coming in. And that's what intuition wants to do. It just wants to give you some new data. And if it works, and it will. But if it works, it's great. And if it doesn't, then that's fine. You can abandon that. But like, give it the chance. Like, give yourself the chance.
And once again, like almost always, it's not even that it was wrong. It's just maybe you looked at it wrong. And that's what I love about Mercury and Sag right now, because That's So Raven was a really good show for showing about, it's like she saw the vision, but she didn't always see it the way she thought. Like her mind would try and make sense of it. So
that's actually a good, it's a good example.
Sweet. Yeah. Which, the Elements of Life, the super chat is open for sure. Jax and I are going to take turns reading. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, anything else about this week that you think is important to keep in?
I'm going to say, honestly, especially after the energy that I was drawing today, I do like the daily readings and stuff. After the energy I was seeing today, it's like, everybody, we should all just take a nap and just, think about, kind of like think about why we're doing what we're doing for a second. Just take like a little nap, take a little bit of time, relax, chill. And then afterwards, let's get like a notepad and like, let's start writing down all the things that we want to do with our new resolve. Because if we answered those hermetic questions, like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Like, why do I think, it's necessary? Like, once we answer those, then we'll have our resolve again. And if we ignore those questions and wait till later, then we're always going to be traveling in this very unresolved sort of like, it's just a chaotic liquidity just to everything that we do. And it's just constantly moving in these different directions. So steel yourself, move forward. Like, that's what it feels like. First, just like relax for a second.
True that. So true. And, let's see. It's interesting because right now, Pluto just entered 19 degrees, just turned 19 degrees. So I know that's I love and I act. It equals 2 numerologically if we do the step astrology, but 19 is huge. That's one away from 20. I think we're going to be feeling the results of that very soon. And Denise, we definitely will be bringing Jax again multiple times. We actually got to do it.
Thank you.
I got to do an official peace talk for you, so we'll schedule that pretty soon. Yeah. But I was about to do 5 different things right now, Gemini, I promise. But I guess to recap, with this Scorpio season energy that we have, it's definitely going to continue to go deeper. It's only a moment. I mean, this is the last full week that we're going to have Jupiter in Scorpio, which for all intents and purposes, at the last final degrees is ready to reveal your greatest secret. I think that's I think your greatest secret about you is going to come to light, a very important sacred revelation. So my advice for everyone watching is to stay true to yourself. Don't sell yourself out. Help other people as well do the same, and just don't take personally how people will react to you, because everyone's hurting. Everyone's kind of triggered a lot.
Yeah.
And it could be easy for others to project that on you. So it is what it is.
That's right. That was a good close. That was a really good close to that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess now we can I usually do the zodiac signs. We could pull cards for the signs, but would you rather do that, or should we get to the hexagonal readings?
I'm just really excited for the hexagonal readings, so let's just jump right into them.
Let's just jump right into it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So we have 3 of them. Let's see. The first one I pulled up is for
the late December chart.
Yeah, from Gigi. There we go. Gigi, born 1959. She has her sun in Capricorn and her moon in Capricorn. Okay. So that's really amazing, Gigi. Whenever you see this, it's important for you to know being a new moon in Capricorn grants you, I like to say supernatural power, but very super powerful energy and integrity. So the first point of abundance, because you also have Saturn there. Okay, now it is supernatural.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
Sun, Moon, Saturn, 7, 8, 9. Wow, you're like the embodiment of power and integrity.
Right.
I'll give that to you. First and foremost, you have this uncanny ability to just know what the right thing to do in any situation is and how full of shit someone is, just right off the bat. And it's interesting because this isn't the 71 Saturn return, it's the 59. So congrats on your Saturn return. The second point of contention with your Venus and Scorpio, I'd say, is that with this Venus return you're having, this allows you to dive incredibly deep inside someone's psychology based on your awareness of who they are, which could really kind of indirectly have you steps ahead of people, which and once again a very deeply psychological sense where you just know who someone is at the core. So it gives you the actions with Cap and then the core with Scorpio. And you also have Mercury in Sag, which is very amazing as a Gemini rising. Since it's so close to your DC, this really allows you to show others. I love Mercury in Sag like this because as a Gem rising, you can tell the truth and then show others what you're saying. Yeah. So you show and tell, which is awesome. Really awesome. Oh no, and that's it for now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wanted to say, for me, the things that really stood out to me. So the ascendant in Gemini is always fun because there's always going to be variety. Like that's one particular thing that's really important, especially when it comes to abundance, because with these hexagonal readings and finding things that identify abundance, like opportunities for them or sort of your inner superpowers for that, Gemini just, I think, gets overlooked. Gemini definitely, they've just got such a wide, and there's so much constant natural synthesis that's happening. So your ascendant in Gemini is very important. What I like a lot, though, is this midheaven. So whenever I see 10th house and Pisces working together, or I see Capricorn and 12th house working together, it always gives this sort of Piscean special backbone, like the special strength that goes along with it. And it's always really good for career paths, for doing something for the long haul, and really sticking with something that just Pisces might, have like a difficulty sticking with, or they might just, get discouraged by some of the cold, hard parts of the world. So that would be another aspect that I really like. And then, of course, you have this Venus in Scorpio in 6th house. So, yeah, I would say it's almost like you're always going to know. And if you look backwards, you probably always have every single person that's going to transform you, like as a person. You always know, like, oh, this person will, like, bring change in my life. And you don't, not in the conscious way, like you're seeking them out, but it's almost like you just directly know, especially to the degree where they transform you in any kind of financial sense, or they transform you in any sort of educational sense, anything like that. So I think that those are three really important aspects in your chart. And it just looks, it's a really nice chart. I love the cross stitching of all that blue.
Yeah, anytime I see all that energy in Capricorn concentrated, it's hard to ignore. It's like, and I'm sure you could feel it too in person.
Oh yeah.
So that's what's up.
And there's so many tight conjunctions everywhere. It's just so, yeah, it's really cool. Almost everyone's paired off, as a team.
Yeah, I feel that really is a mark of focus in a person if they have tight conjunctions. Like they're not necessarily scattered in attention or whatnot. You could start with the next one.
Yes, let's take a look at the next one. We've got we have a early June birthday. I'm not sure of the name. Do you have the person's name?
Yes, her name is, let's see, Gemini, Norma.
Norma. Okay, so Norma, let's take a look at your chart. So I pulled these up before we started the show, but these are kind of the first times I'm looking at them. I really like doing it from first impression. I've got to point to this Mercury and Venus tightly conjunct over in Cancer in the 12th house. To me, it seems like other people's relationships and your ability to observe those relationships and your ability to emulate the best parts of those relationships are something that's going to be really important for abundance. It feels like you have this natural psychic sense, and it's nothing other than psychic. It's a psychic sense to say, if I say these words, I know this will permanently disrupt the relationship. And conversely, I know if I say these words, it will permanently show this person that I care. Like, it's like really special. Like, the right words. And it's not like in this sweet sounding way, like I know the right thing to say so this person will like me. It's like you say stuff that like hits people directly to their core. And that doesn't seem like it's something that necessarily is tied directly to abundance, but it really is, especially as you cross paths with working with people that you love and that you're friends with, and, working alongside them, growing in your goals. The moon being in the second house in Virgo is really great because it's very clear that you have the right emotions towards money. You're going to have an ability to sort of step outside yourself objectively and say, okay, take all this stress out for a second. Okay, what do I really need to do here? Okay. And then you're able to get emotionally invested in a positive way in converting your excitement for those transitions financially into like passion and into, continuing your goals and giving you some vigor where it might just be apathetic or cold for a lot of other people, And then lastly, I just got to say, the third thing would be this Sun and Mars and Gemini in 11th house. I don't know. I like some of these lineups with the houses and their signs as far as the elemental lineups. So you've got an air and an air house. You've got the Sun and Mars and Gemini. So to me, it would be like there's part of you that wants to just go out and talk with everybody, socialize with everybody. But it's almost like the Aquarian house, the 11th house, is telling you to like stick around. Like, even if it is just an acquaintance, even if it is just a person that you're just meeting really quickly, like really leave an impression. And it's not about you, like leave an impression so that the two of you can develop together, so that they always know that there's someone that they can talk to, that you'd give the shirt off your back even though you don't know them, because that shows people that there's like faith in humanity for a reason. Like, yeah, there's like goodness in this world for a reason, because you're showing it. Like, and it's just little simple actions. That's what this chart's all about, these little tiny moments where you just impact people. So don't ever underestimate how much impact you're having on people's hearts and their minds.
Beautiful. And to add on to the Gemini aspect, first of all, Team Gemini, that's
right.
Air gang. I love what you said earlier about Gemini kind of being underestimated when it comes to the supernatural quality, and I didn't realize, and I learned from my sister's moon in Gemini. What up, Avery? That it's Gemini is just such a clairaudient vibration. It's one thing that I learned is that especially growing up, I could read people's thoughts, and I didn't know that's what I was doing. And with the Cap Moon, like I would stop it as soon as it would happen, because there's just that vulnerable feeling that in hindsight I should have like accepted it. But yeah, because you're Cancer rising, Norma, and technically Gemini does mark your 12th house, a lot of that 11th house energy dissolves in the 12th and now gives you spiritual dynamics of how people think. I see 12th house Gemini as like an aspect of the mental realm, and being able to abstractly draw thoughts and ideas from others, especially based on what they're going to say. So that's one aspect. You definitely have an extraordinary sense of truth. Jupiter and Libra, one of my favorite Jupiter positions, it's great as well because this gives you abundance in just networking and connecting. Yeah. I've learned more so than ever, Libra is like the pro at personalizing things for people and making it and normalizing things for people as well. Let me not even say normal, but personalization and personification. So with Jupiter there, it's such a great companion with your Gemini energy because you know how to personalize your words based on who you're talking to. That's something with me not having Libra energy made me respect Libra a lot, because I thought air was really all about communication, and it is, but Libra is the social aspect. Like you can have all the Aquarius energy and know everything, and you can be super smart with Gemini, but if you don't know how to talk to people, you're not going to connect with anybody. So that's really awesome. And then Uranus and Scorpio, I want to study that aspect a lot. I just feel like it's so mysterious, and having that 27 degrees, actually that's on my DC, but it's very cognizant. I see it so far, especially where you have it, is just being so genius about intuitively knowing who people are at the core and thinking outside the box in that sense too, which as a Gemini sun gives you that King Kungs effect, to where your words real time are striking at the core of people, where we may not be aware that you're talking about stuff. I see the funny thing about that aspect is, like, if someone's talking shit about you, or if they have negative thoughts, like, you're gonna say it whether you're aware of it or not. It's like, oh crap, that person just said what was in my mind. Did they know? So that's pretty cool too. We shall see. And the last one, by the way, Jax, I have sent to your Facebook chat the screenshots of all the super chats.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
So we'll start with Shauna when we start. Oh crap. The last one was Bianca. She's a Pisces, but I didn't finish drawing up her chart. So let me do that.
Bianca, the Aries?
Yeah, born in March 21st, 89.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Awesome.
So let's see. March 21st, El Paso, Texas, 11:54 p.m. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So right off the bat, you are an Aries, the one, and you're a 1 degree Aries sun. And your moon is in Libra. See, these tight aspects really make me look differently at certain people. Like, that's an attainment to me. The fact that you have your sun directly opposite your moon in Libra makes you like the best Aries. It's the completed version of Aries that's not too savage to take out anywhere. It's like, you know when to be raw, but you also know when to be classy. You know how to, once again, personalize. And that's one huge problem I've seen for Aries. It's like they got the authenticity down, but they can sometimes not be palatable enough to connect with other people because they're just too fiery. So knowing you have that moon in Libra so directly opposite is super awesome. This definitely gives you the best of both worlds, personal individualism and social grace. And then you have your Mercury and Venus and Pisces, which once again, it makes that type of Aries, because there's a type of Aries that has the imaginative understanding, and then there's a type of Aries that's just raw communication, and then there's a type that's very grounded with Taurus. So those of you with the Pisces energy, you're so amazing at imagining scenarios and really painting a picture and a movie. This is where, these people can lucid dream. They can close their eyes, see a movie screen. And I thank you, Jax, because like I can't do that. So knowing that I know I can learn to lucid dream. I know I can learn to like visualize, but having that is great as an Aries, because the fire, it's different than a Pisces with this, because Pisces is already in that. But Aries is like 1 foot in this reality while also seeing with their spirit all this water energy, which could be diluting in some cases. But this definitely makes you entirely super creative as an artist. I love Mercury Venus connects because it definitely adds beauty to the way people communicate as well. And then you have Jupiter and Gemini with Mars. So that's highly sexual, even though Mars and Gemini isn't the most sexual energy, although it can be. I'm going to take that back.
But Mars and Gemini too. Yeah.
Like I respect Mars and Gemini because like they're good without sex. Like they're not gonna really thirst. I'm sure everyone gets horny, but like a Mars and Gemini would rather have a conversation with you than try and like gang your pants. Like they want to be stimulated intellectually, which is super awesome. And Jupiter here gives you such an abundance in communication and putting thoughts together. So congratulations, you're awesome.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And so you didn't know this. So Michael actually pulled up the three charts that we were going to be doing today. He didn't know this, but Bianca in real life is actually like my best friend.
No
So he just, yeah,
way.
he randomly chose her chart. So I was really excited. I kept it to myself as I saw him send me the three chart info. So
Wow.
Bianca's like my best friend in real life. So everything he just said is full on accurate.
I
Also,
thought it
there's
was
some common,
interesting that she was also from El Paso,
right?
which is great. Which
Yeah.
is really interesting. Yeah.
It was no, it was really funny when I saw you choose that at one of the charts because she's been so excited to see this talk that we were going to have and sort of do these readings, and so she's like a huge fan of yours. And yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. And there's one thing I'm actually going to position to you as kind of like a point here, but it's also a question: what on earth in this chart makes it so that she's naturally talented at everything? Like she literally sent me a text yesterday, and it was a pumpkin carved, and it was, of
Wow.
course, looked all perfect and immaculate because it's Aries. And so I was just like, oh wow, that looks really good. Like, where'd you get the stencil for that? She's like, oh, I just freehanded it, and it was like,
Oh
I was
my
like, what? What do you mean you free? Like, you're not like, how do
Just
you
all
do that?
casually.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's like doesn't even realize like how talented she is. Like this one time, me and my sister and her were hanging out, and my sister was trying belly dancing, and she had those hand clapping things, like those little bells, and she just like picked them up for the first time and started like belly dancing, like and doing all these different things. It's like what part of her chart is gives her these magic powers to do everything right on the first try?
She's the one. That's the
She's the one.
Aries.
I guess you're just the one,
The
Bianca.
Aries lets her do it all, but you nailed it, man. Like the magic part is that Pisces. The Pisces is so good for drawing and like taking what's in your imagination on paper.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't consider myself a good drawer because I mean I don't practice, but I mean I'll just draw stick figures. But I learned when it comes to that, you need to be able to see it in your imagination and then bringing it down. It's the
Right.
connection she has with Gemini and Pisces as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's always tripped me up on her chart. I've looked at it a couple times before. The one thing I really love about this chart is that moon and midheaven being so close together. It's like to me it represents that it's all about authenticity emotionally. Like if that's not there, then the work that's being done just it's not going to be there. So anything that she does is something that she emotionally connects with and believes in as well.
That's
So
real.
that's one thing I think is huge for abundance as far as an aspect for that. And then of course the ascendant in Sagittarius. I don't know. Sagittarius is just like synonymous with competence for me. Like Sagittarius has issues too, of course, like everyone, but
Yeah.
they always like they can do something to a state of mastery. And with all that uprising Aries energy, and then you've
Mhm.
got that Sagittarius kind of closing energy, like I'm going to close this and make sure this works, and I'm going to make sure it's perfectly crafted. I'm going to make sure
Yep.
it's like an adventure while I'm doing it to it. I'm going to be excited about it. Those I think are really important aspects for abundance.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that idolizes Sag then.
Yeah,
Well,
they're just really cool. They're just really awesome. They're just really awesome people.
they're the best sign to me. Them, Libra, and I don't. Aqua doesn't count because they're aliens and they're not human. So it's like you don't count Pisces and they're ascendant masters. So yeah, definitely
Right.
sad.
Yeah.
And I love how you said that. Like I actually have come to see it as the apex of energy too. Outside of Pisces, the traditional model, you have the fire. So that's great that you said that because I think now more than ever, Sagittarius is going to evolve and lead
Yeah.
humanity once again, which is going to be great. I remember David was saying how Libras are going to come out too and evolve. So I'm very excited about that. I think we were just waiting for Scorpio. Hint, hint. But
Yeah, since 1990, us Libras have just been like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, hope everyone likes me." And like now, now it's more like, we don't care as
we
well. We
don't
still care,
care.
but we're able to pretend like we don't for now. Yeah. So
That's beautiful. Well, yeah, guys, like this is what we'll do. For this was a bit late notice, but in future we'll have it to where if you're able to share the channel, if you share Jax's channel, or maybe they can do that now, right? If for the next
oh
one
yeah,
that we may do.
yeah.
But
Anybody subscribes to the channel, I'll check the notifications and do kind of like a raffle from those notifications and be like, okay, this person. and we'll choose some people.
Sweet.
Yeah,
So I guess now we'll close with getting to the super chat.
that's right.
And the first one we have is Shauna. So what we'll do is we'll just pull a card. We'll try and get to everyone. We should be able to. For the ease of speed, so we're not here too long, we'll just pull a card per donation.
Perfect.
And definitely interpret. So Shauna's view, channeled message and love message. The channeled message that I have for you is that you are personally, the vision I have is like you've reached a new level of depth within yourself, and you've been trying to, not trying, but you've been counterintuitively working hard because you've been taught that to get to something you have to grind and you have to work. And what spirit is saying is that in order to reach this final level, you don't have to do anything, you just have to kind of be. And this is totally pertaining to a level of depth within yourself when it comes to understanding. You may feel like there's something you have to do to evolve, and there's really nothing you have to do. And the love message we have is the Three of Swords, which I think is a part of this. The more you can embrace what triggers heartbreak in you, and once you kind of directly confront, like Jax was saying, to confront things, once you directly confront who's betrays you or what hurts your heart, this will open up the doors for greater love, because got healing after two. So
I like that. Now, the list that I have, this is all the people that I'm doing.
Oh, okay, good question. Okay, yeah, I didn't explain that. So the list that I sent you, right? If you look at the first one, at the bottom it starts with Shauna, and then the next one's Leslie. So you could do Leslie, I'll do Nika, and then I'll do Jamie.
Oh, perfect. Okay, yes, sounds good. Okay, so Leslie, let's take a look. I don't see a notation, so let's go ahead and just find out what needs to be seen. Okay. We've got Page of Coins. Okay, so right now, if it's felt like you've been in kind of a desert when it comes to encouraging news, really just refresh yourself. Treat today as a blank slate, and these next couple days actually, and be prepared for some messages to come in about money. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's like, hey, I've got like $100 and I'm just totally bored of. I'm just going to hand you money. The Page of Coins is basically suggesting, someone's going to present an opportunity. Someone's going to present a message to you, and it's very clear that if you're open-minded to it, and every part of you might want to be like, well, I mean, this might just not turn out like this other thing didn't turn out. Like right now, it's important, like dig into it, like go for the opportunity and really explore what it is that it's going to be like pretty in your face though. It'll be pretty like on the nose as far as financial opportunities or career opportunities are concerned.
Much appreciated, Diablo, by the way. Jax and I will go in on both ears together when we get there as well. So, which is awesome. All right. Nika, advice to traverse perceived obstacles with Patrick.
Traverse is one of my favorite words.
Right? It's like travel and adventure, but we do have the Sun card and also the Six of Wands. The Sun card, Nika, is saying to really come at things positively, to come at things with love in your heart, it's a very great question that you ask, because the obstacles are perceived. So how would you come at this situation if your heart was filled with love and if you're seeing everything from a very enlightened view? The Sun and the Six of Wands is saying with these perceived obstacles, it's going to resolve itself very well. And both of you will gain victory from respecting what you're each going through. So that's what's up. Got the Two of Cups for both of y'all too. So.
Okay, and so it looks like Jamie would like a channeled message. So it's all about exploring. It's all about exploring and so exploration right now, it's not just about go out and travel to some location you haven't been to before. Like that's a good idea, like a good start. But exploring right now means literally rethink a lot of the questions that you've had about what your limits are. Think about, for instance, if you've thought, oh, I'd never really be able to get into this subject, like it's just not really my cup of tea. Like if there's subjects around it that you're interested in now, like actually go for those, even if you have to cross into a path that you might feel uncomfortable in. But exploration is everything, like exploration and diversity. It's all about understanding things that you don't understand or exposing yourself to them again, almost as if like you're checking to see if like you're still allergic to something. But in this particular case, it's not dangerous to do so. Exposing yourself to a new situation that you're completely uncomfortable in. This is going to prompt more exploration, more discovery, and more mastery in the things that seem like they're completely irrelevant. Like it might not seem relevant to study creative writing, for example, to the things that you're normally doing and the things that you're focusing on, but definitely explore those things right now. Like really give it a moment of time.
All right. Next we have Empress Daisy. Tell me the tea from the spirit guides. I got you, girl.
Do you have a cup of tea ready?
We should just kind of have like a tea time where we brew tea live and
surprise tea time. We'll never tell you when we're going live. We're just gonna go live at some point, 2 a.m. on a random day. We've got tea here.
And just dishing out that tea.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, my bad. Everything we're reading was from a couple days ago too, so that's kind of interesting. Oh my God, I'm not making this up. Empress Daisy, we got the Empress card. So the only tea we have is Venus. You know what I'm saying? Like you're in a position where your goddess self is coming out. First house Scorpio. So this is definitely emerging. So if anything, definitely Empress, what are the ways you're working on your beauty? What are the ways you're working on your style? What are the ways you're working on how you bring yourself out? Yes, bitch, like you just said, whips hair. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Congratulations. It's a very bold energy. So I feel like this is just going to emerge from you. And that is going to bring its own abundance.
Absolutely. I've got one from Maya Knots. Card pull when you're free. Let's go ahead and see what card wants to be pulled. Ooh, Magician, one of my favorites. Okay, Magician, so raw potential and the lightning bolt of inspiration. So right now you're going to have some idea pop into your head and you'd be like, oh, is this just another pipe dream? The answer is no, absolutely not. Take a look at it. Take a very serious look at your dreams right now, and especially those ones that guide you, the ones that feel like they're like a lightning bolt entering for the top of your skull, like they run down into your chest and into your upper back. Like you can feel this dream taking shape. You can almost feel in your fingertips the potential that could be built here. The Magician card wants you to engage with that. Like seriously, go for it. And it, of course, is going to be completely unformed because the Magician card is kind of like a seed. But if you continue it on through the High Priestess and you water it a little bit, and the Empress, and it starts to finally sprout, and Emperor, it gains some leaves and stability. Just like follow that path of the Magician and see where it takes you.
I love that card.
Me too.
So awesome. The card that I have for Cindy G, how will this week go for me, is the 8 of Cups. Cindy, it looks like we're looking at an important level of you walking away from that which doesn't serve you, even though technically this card has a lot to do with being in a position to have disappointments in love. I see this for you as seeking deeper meaning in your soul. And when you seek that deeper meaning, you're going to find your refuge. You're going to find that sanctuary with people who do honor you. With honestly, I saw that as the Viridian Summit, coming down to the Viridian Summit and just connecting with like-minded, awesome people. I'm going to pull another one for Gloria because she just sent me something on PayPal. Gloria, we have Five of Pentacles and also the Eight of Cups. So this is urging you, Gloria Oriana, to walk away from that which does not honor your value. If you're around, I'm specifically feeling you might be around people who make you feel like you're broke or you're poor in spirit. This could also say you might want to move if you're looking for greater financial opportunity, but I think this is more emotional. Don't necessarily entertain or be around people that refuse to see your intrinsic qualities, because it has you feeling like you're not good enough when you part of the $1 billion vibe tribe. You know what's up. So yeah, definitely.
I think the next one is Amelia for me. Amelia, let's see.
Yep.
Got like a super fast moving energy. Ooh, of course you do. The Fool. All right, so the Fool, you've got some new beginnings coming your way. There's also going to be like a lot of opportunities to socialize and to get to know some new people. Of course, some new information is going to come flying at you. Basically, in this Fool state, you know, that moment between the end where you've reached mastery from the world and you're about to get the spark of inspiration over in the Magician. In this formless state, just be really happy about the fact that things are formless. And it can be really, you know, tough to not have that stability and to not know where everything is going to go, but just do your best to enjoy it right now and allow yourself to realize that that formlessness is opportunity. Formlessness is not a lack of structure and safety, or not only that, it's also just a series of opportunities. The world's open, and the older you get in life, you know, as you continue on, there's less and less roads of potential, of course, just because of the sake of time. And the Fool card is basically suggesting that right now you've got a big moment for a lot of different potentials and opportunities. So take like a good look and take your pick.
Beautiful. Next, D Lady Manhattan, my PayPal instructions are in the description box below. But for Stellar, we have, let me get this right. Stellar, we have the Queen of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. So this is definitely speaking of you stepping into greater material foundation or assured material gain, but stability based on your willingness to stay focused over the next couple of weeks on your independent projects. This is 100% about being professional about everything you're doing, even outside of work, and just be prepared for a greater recognition. Congratulations.
That's right.
You definitely earned this. For sure, for sure.
For White Cascade, is the Cancer guy or Virgo guy a better match? Let's take a look. Well, okay. So Cancer guy is shockingly going to have you really push a lot of your boundaries. Virgo guy is almost like, it feels like Virgo guy is genuinely ready for something right now, like genuinely ready. Cancer guy is going to sometimes have the appearance of not being as ready, whether it's emotionally or literally. I would say they're both honestly going to be really enlightening, positive matches for you. So I wouldn't say one's better than the other, but I would say honestly, like it does appear that the Virgo kind of has the same mindset that you're at right now. This mindset of like, hey, let's actually like be here for this. Like let's both really, you know, go for this rather than just flirting with the idea and enjoying the high bursts of passion, but not necessarily having a plan for anything. It feels like the Virgo might end up being more refreshing.
Sweet. Let's see who we have next. Davita B. Let me send this to you first real quick. Third batch. All right. So Davita B. Sag stepping out and say, okay, so Davita. Okay, cool. Sag stepping out in sales and music, putting in work. That's what's up. We do have great. We do have the Seven of Pentacles. I used to hate this card so much because it's like my Mars in Aries wants everything now, and that just let me know that now is not the time that it's going to occur. But I had it all wrong, especially since you're speaking of you putting in work. It's saying that you have gained victory in this work. You just want to give this time to, over a long term, manage it. You know, when someone plants a garden, when someone has a farm, just like you're doing with your sales or music, it's not ripe yet. It still needs to be watered. It still needs to be taken care of. But at that moment in time, you know, he has it. He has he's already won because he's planted those seeds. Yeah, things can happen, but with your patience and with your nurturing, you will be successful. And we even have like success coming from after that. So congratulations.
All right. And Jessica T, so you need to know the answer to a yes or no question. And that gets kind of tricky because there's a lot of times I get questions positioned as yeses and nos that actually like they can't be answered that way because they're not quantified already. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get as close to that as we can to at least lead you in the right direction. Let's take a look. Okay, so this feels like it's a definite yes, but there's like a comma, but just make sure that you are ready for something extremely long term in this area. The King of Coins is basically it's here to set a reputation. It's not just here to stop by and be here for a moment. It's here to set a reputation and to build some sort of stability that lasts a long time. So yes, but just be prepared for the full depth. Okay, like that's what it looks like. It needs you to know.
Nice. Okay, Martin, the card that we have for you is the Ten of Cups. So you're definitely in and entering a greater period of bliss in every area of your life. You'll find work feels like a dream job. If you're wanting to find what you will. If this is more so applied romantically, there's someone out there that you have the potential to really enjoy a deep spiritual connection with. I also feel this is like your family, everyone getting along and just you feeling festive around these holiday periods. So awesome.
That is awesome. John Roby, let's take a look what's coming up for you. We have Knight of Swords. Okay, this one's always a very clear message. It's like, look, you do have an extremely powerful and smart mind. No one's doubting that, but don't rush. Like, I know you kind of just want to like go for it. Like, you know, I bet I could figure this out as I go along. It's not that you're wrong. You probably can, but there's going to be unnecessary sacrifice if you don't just slow down for a second. So just take a moment, just chill, think about it. It's tough, but just, you know, take some time.
Yeah, I could tell you from experience the
unnecessary
sacrifice.
way too many times. Way too many times. I finally had to learn the lesson in Knight of Swords.
Oh yeah, I felt that one. Empress Daisy. We have the Hierophant for you. It comes with the Three of Wands. The Hierophant is, of course, speaking of you being in a position to sorry, I know I said I'll do one. What I usually do is if someone donates more than 5, I'll do 2. If someone donates more than 10, and I'll just do by those increments. Okay. But yeah, we do have the Hierophant and the Three of Wands, which is definitely talking about you making long-term plans on something that is grounded in your own official sense of what's right, because the Hierophant has a lot to do with the status quo and abiding by the rules. However, I think that you're in a position to where you are in this position, like you're making rules for yourself. You're stepping into your own religious awareness. So what is this adventure? What are these ships coming in? Really look towards official institutions that could give you opportunities as well concerning that.
That's awesome. Next, I have Rob Will. Let's take a look at what's coming up for you. Oh, wow. Okay. Whew. So, Rob, okay, so you got some intense stuff coming up. Okay, so we're starting off with the tower. So, the tower is not going to be a secret or a big surprise because it feels like you're already immersed in it. So, this tower energy is like, okay, something I'm used to. This will be something big, like a relationship, a career path, or like a lifelong philosophy is being called into question and possibly destroyed right now. What it's doing though is it's clearing a path for you to build a real foundation and not one of sand. So this next tower that you build will be one that can last for a lifetime. The important thing to remember is the tower breaking doesn't mean it's your fault every time. It doesn't mean that this thing broke or didn't work out because you failed and next time you try harder. It's saying that this time around it wasn't genuine in the first place and next time it will be authentic. It will be real. Now, what's interesting is the oncoming energy is the judgment card. Judgment card is basically saying, look, the moment this tower is truly falled and the rubble is all over the ground and it's basically dust at this point and it's time to rebuild, you're going to have to pretty quickly recover from what just happened and say, I'm going to make a judgment call. This is how I think of this situation. This is how I'm always going to think of it. You know, new information might come in, but otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and allow myself to close the case in this. I'm not going to fixate and I'm not going to dwell. And if you can avoid the temptation of dwelling, then you've got the world card. You've got the universe. You've got like your external world and the internal world matching your reality, matching your desires. It's just so important that one, the tower being destroyed feels unpleasant but is necessary. And two, if you can avoid dwelling on it and make a judgment call as far as like your part in it and as far as what you want to do next about it, the world card is a pretty awesome reward for that. So world card means that things are working out.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Lena Joe, we got the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is the inner child in you that wants you to listen to that intuitive spark. I split the deck and another came out, which is happening a lot. It's wanting you to fall in love with love again. And it's talking about new intuitive gifts surfacing through your art and creativity. It came with the Queen of Wands, which is a soulmate alert. Have you really met your soulmate? You might have met people who you think are your soulmate, but have you really met your soulmate? If not, it's time. So yeah, and the Page of Cups is new love. So that's also in the cards too. Definitely.
The elements of life. Identity is feeling off. Any advice on how I can correct this? Let's take a look. Let's take a look and we'll see if it needs to be corrected or integrated or it needs to be moved on from. What's okay. So I just got done shuffling this. Universe again. As far as your identity, remember that this is part of your story. This isn't like the sub-thematic element of your story. This is like a paragraph or a chapter right now. This looks an identity feeling off. Pay attention to why it feels off. Like when you ask that part of yourself, why do I feel so off like this? You know, what's it saying to you? Like what's it communicating? What image immediately comes into your mind? What emotion immediately starts to come up? Because it's about addressing it directly. What this is suggesting is in one level, this is going to be a phase. It's going to be a phase you're going to feel on again and occasionally off again, but really attacking the root of what this issue is when it comes to your identity, when it comes to the way that other people perceive you versus do they really need to perceive you accurately? As long as you're perceiving you accurately, the universe card is saying that you're going to have it all. You're going to be able to integrate this, and this will just be a paragraph, maybe even a chapter in your story, but that's it. Your entire story is just so much more than this feeling that you're feeling right now. So it's just important that you know that.
And then could you pull another one for Danielle Becker? She just sent the PayPal.
Danielle, let's take a look. Knight of Wands. All right, so Danielle. Okay, so Knight of Wands time. So not only is there going to be a trial by fire, but you're going to intentionally step into it. at least you're certainly going to have the opportunity to, and I would suggest it. Knight of Wands is not about, I'm going to put myself in a difficult situation because I feel like expanding my mind right now. Knight of Wands is about, I'm going to put myself in a difficult situation because if I do, I evolve. Like I literally evolve as a person. I grow stronger. I grow smarter. I grow more competent. That's what the Knight of Wands wants for you. And the cool part is it's not all serious. The Knight of Wands is also saying like, by doing that, you can allow your passion to be in charge, because if you're competent, your passion gets to be in charge all at once. The only time that passion becomes a problem or idealism becomes a problem is when there's not competence that matches and goes alongside with it. So step into that fire, like intentionally go into that difficult situation and get stronger from it. I love Knight of Wands.
That's a Sagittarius card too, right?
Yeah, of course it is.
Okay. So for Erica Ann, I got the Ace of Pentacles and then I split the deck and like the page came. And it's great because you're asking specifically on money. So this is saying that you're on the brink of taking something you're working on and making it something that pays you regularly. This is going to require investing in yourself. The Ace of Pentacles is talking about new financial opportunities and new income streams. So the advice I can give you on money is to invest in something fresh, or take what you're already doing and create a new healthy beginning with this that you can stay consistent on. Chances are you're already doing this. So this is a great omen and a great sign that you just want to, this is going to bring great results. Ultimately, what is opening up is a new opportunity for you to make great and consistent money. So any new opportunities that come through, definitely trust it.
That's awesome. Do you want to take Sharon Andrea as well? Do you want to take her next? Because it looks like she's got one particular for you. The messages for this transit: Sun in Aquarius, Moon Pisces, Mercury in Pisces, Venus in Pisces, Jupiter in Cancer.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We could totally do that. Wait a minute. Oh, no, those are actually her natal chart position.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if it's cool if I do it. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Messages for this transit. Okay. I'm going to draw a card, but I feel like there's also some channeled stuff that needs to happen here too. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the sun. And with the sun, the kind of channeled message that came along with it. So there's going to be basically a lot of revealing lights right now into specifically the deepest chasms. The darkest places right now are going to be illuminated. And that's really important because it's important to remember the channeled message is like, pain is the price tag of memory, right? So to remember things, we have to remember like, oh, that was so great. That was so nostalgic. It was so beautiful. We also have to remember the really difficult stuff too. And it's almost as if right now is the time where everything's going to be illuminated. So if you let yourself look at all of it and really decide amongst, like, with yourself, what do I really feel about what happened back then? Is this really still affecting me because it genuinely is, or because I'm saying it's affecting me? Is this really painful memory the end all be all, or can I do something different to move forward from it? The Sun card is basically saying, look, I'm going to shine a light on all of it. There's going to be joy and there's going to be sadness, and there cannot be any cherry picking for you to move forward as a person, for you to become your strongest self. But that's what all this water energy I feel from your energy space from your chart. It's just like, it's all about the memories. Like, it's all about being able to understand the past and to be able to remember the good times, and also to be able to learn from those really difficult times as well. So you have the intelligence to learn from those difficult times. You understand and can figure out how those things can help you. But it's really important to, like, take a good look at everything. Take a good look at your life so you can let certain things go and move forward and increase other parts of your life that you love.
And as a Sun in Aqua, the Scorpio season is going to greatly emerge a lot of your career goals and conclude on what Jupiter has helped for you as well. So for Leo Gem, we have the King of Cups, which I almost feel applies to Sharon too, because this card comes up a lot for her. but this is definitely talking about a compassionate man that is going to be in a position to help you examine. He may trigger you in any areas where you may not be compassionate or emotionally mature, but I get the sense it's less about maturity and it's more about connecting with someone who is either a father figure or a romantic partner. And that's the card of Scorpio. So it should go down this week.
And that was, you just did that for Leo Jim?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. So for Ain F, let's see what we have here. I'm drawn to 3 different people. Is one my soulmate? So there's so I have it in chronological in this case, apparently. So the first one you met feels like the maximum potential between the two of you would be a really good time, like an excellent friendship, a lot of fun and excitement. It appears the second person that you met, though, absolutely carries a vibration that a lot of people would call soulmate or twin flame. The second person that you met is vibrating on a level with you on some of the deepest levels. Like either the two of you have shared some of the same trauma in life, or the two of you have understood each other without needing to say anything in a way that's extremely special. And a lot of people would categorize that as soulmate. It definitely feels like there's past life stuff involved here too. So this second person that you met is incredibly special for your journey. Now this third person, though, the most recent person that you met, we have the moon card. So it's not that they're not a soulmate, but it honestly feels like they're in a place in their life where they're going to have to evaluate like the darkest part of themselves, and you can be there for them on that journey and this part of it, but it feels like you might feel pushed away a lot. So just prepare for that. But this second person that you met, like it's a very strong, very special energy. It feels young and timeless at the same time.
Beautiful. For Diablo, I can pull one for. I'll do a reading and then you can do a reading.
Yep, that sounds good.
So this is quite interesting. I pulled a few cards. It kind of has a progression. We have this financial base instructor, which is talking about greater consistency in what you're doing professionally for making a living. It's speaking a lot of you actually coming into even greater money and stability. This also reflects someone else who's grounded in that state. I get the sense that you're dealing with someone who is really going through their dark night of the soul, because we have this right after those 2 cards, and it's like there's the burden with having to deal with a lot of your own internal issues. But for some reason, Diavolo, I feel like this is someone you're dealing with where they're really well financially, but this is what they're holding inside. And right after this, right after that dark night, is everything coming to the light. So it's like it's all not for nothing. um I wish I could show you all of these cards together because they look so beautiful. It's like you could see the natural progression.
The juxtaposition is incredible.
Yeah. And the bottom of that is the 10 of cups. So as far as a channeled message, you've definitely been processing a lot of negativity for a lot of people when they come to you with what they're going through and the advice you give them and the help and support you give them. This is all coming back around. And I get the sense as a Sagittarius, you tap into that collective energy and sense. So it's like each person's issue is a part of you as well, because it mirrors in your life as well too. So regardless, this is great. Like it started off well. There was that um, dip, and now it's coming back into great completion, which is awesome.
That is super awesome. And Diavolo, I'm going to take a look right now too. See anything else that needs to be just kind of like unearthed. That's the feeling I get. Just to unearth a few things. And it'll be for some food for thought, but also for some like goalposts, setting new goals and expectations. Let's see. Oh my God. Yeah. So to second that, And you even drew the star, didn't you? You drew the star next to the magician?
Yep.
Okay. So for starters, we have the 5 of coins. So now's the time to understand the things you do have while things are in lack or while things are in loss. To understand that the complexities that appear to be there are actually much different than the ones that actually are. There's probably one real complexity right now. And that real complexity could be financial, or it could be just like a disagreement with friendships, because that's what the coins refer to a lot, is friendships. The 5 of coins, though, is suggesting you've got this really difficult time. You're supposed to understand what to be appreciative of, what you're supposed to be grateful for, and that's great. But at the same time, it's going to be like a little bit confusing as far as where to go. But that being said, you're going to feel this sudden oncoming energy, and you'll say, it almost feels like everything's about to get better. And you'll be like, wait, am I being too naive or too hopeful or too idealistic? The answer is absolutely not. So things will get better, but not of their own accord. It'll get better because you're doing the steps right now. You're acting as if the 5 of coins isn't even happening. You're just like continuing on with your day. You're doing the work you need to do. And the Wheel of Fortune is saying, oh, great. So we're going to go ahead and skip over 6 of coins and abundance in that way. We're going to jump right to the Wheel of Fortune and have a great shift in the way that you feel and the way that you exist right now. Oh, but what's that lead to? What does that shift lead to? Well, we have the 4 of coins. We have like a level of stability, which would be kind of nice and refreshing here. It's like a regression in the coins cards. The 4 of coins is also suggesting, though, that there's going to be some reevaluations of your long-term goals. And that's what's really exciting. And the reason that that's exciting, that you're reevaluating that, is because the final card is the star. So you're going to be like, okay, do I keep watering this, or do I start watering those new seeds over there? Do I stick where I've been all this time and all this time that I've invested, or do I go ahead and try out something brand new? Honestly, based on the feeling with all these cosmic shifts, it's pretty clear you're going to want to try something new. You're going to want to let some things go, but finally there will be genuine feelings of peace, like genuine feelings of like, I'm actually okay with that. A lot of times we kind of poke and prod ourselves into feeling that we're supposed to be okay with it. We don't need to do that in this particular case. You'll get to feel that peace and serenity because you've earned it by taking the actions necessary.
Diablo said, wow, that's exactly where I'm at right now. And then Sensei said, anyone know what deck Jax is using? Is that the Crow's Magic?
Yes, the Crow's Magic Tarot deck from Londa Marks. I'm not sure if it's still in production. I got it when I was 15. This is my very first tarot deck.
Beautiful.
Well, this is a second copy of the very first tarot deck, because otherwise they'd be all bent and like destroyed by now. But yeah.
Well, you could go ahead and do Lisa too, and I'll continue from here.
Yeah, Lisa. So Lisa doesn't have a question. Let's see what's going on for you, Lisa. Ace of Swords. All right, I love Ace of Swords. Okay, so you've got this brand new awakening energy. You've got all these things rising up in the energy space, these new hopes, dreams, inventions, ideas. Now, with this, though, the Ace of Swords is suggesting that you really take a moment, and whether it's writing it down, whether it's talking to a person that's really good sort of soundboarding with you, you've got like a good communication dynamic with them. Ace of Swords wants to be talked about and trusted, just like when we were talking about intuition earlier in the show. Like, really give that dream and that idea some respect and say, I'm going to write you down. I'm going to think about you genuinely as if I'm actually considering it. And you just might happen to have stumbled upon something you're incredibly passionate about, even if the price tag will be that you have to do a little bit of trading on the things you're comfortable with. I have to readjust my philosophy on human beings a little bit. Got to readjust my philosophy on lack versus abundance a little bit. I got to, basically move some gears here and there because I have to give something. There's a little bit of sacrifice with the Ace of Swords, but not a sacrifice like a needless pain for the sake of pain, sacrifice for the sake of progress. So that's what I'm seeing.
Beautiful. And Joa, the alien goddess. Yeah, I say beautiful too, because I never seen the Ace of Swords as a sacrifice card. That makes a lot of sense.
It's the most pleasant one. Yeah, most pleasant type of sacrifice.
So Joa, we do have the Queen of Pentacles. This is an important message of really investing greater in yourself. You have your own intuitive internal wisdom. And the Queen of Pentacles spends really great. She manages her money great. You're going to find that your management of funds allows for more, But the advice I'm getting here is not really just to splurge on yourself, but to, instead of maybe, shopping at a certain store, shop at a higher end store. Really upgrade the quality of what you do. Especially, I get the sense you may have given so too much to your children that you want to actually, and not like too much that's unhealthy, but you definitely want to kind of give more to yourself as well. I don't get that you don't give enough too, but it's just like up the price tag. The Queen of Pentacles is quite flashy. I mean, the Queen of Wands is flashy, but the Queen of Pentacles, she knows what's up.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Ari. We love
Oh, is
you.
Ari here?
Yeah, she's been in the chat for a while.
Okay, I need to pull up the comments at one of these points. So Claire Underwood, and if you're the real one, hi, how's it going? I was cards. If you're not really Claire Underwood, that's okay. Let me take a look. What's ahead for me and Quinn? Let's take a look.
Is Claire Underwood like a famous psychic or something?
Claire Underwood is a fictional character from the show House of Cards.
Oh, yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah. So Claire Underwood, we have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is basically suggesting things are going to get really fun and delightful. At the same time, though, there's like a level of it's necessary to celebrate, because if you don't celebrate just all the things that you've been working on to get to this Three of Cups moment, this moment of celebration and lightness, it's going to be like missed out on. Like, so if you worked and worked and worked and you finally got this new promotion or this new job and you want to just celebrate for yourself, if you're checking your phone and being like, well, I guess I do, next week I should be preparing for this. If you don't take some time to actually like celebrate, like to really take some time, it's going to kind of rob you of a lot of energy. So actually treat celebration and resting and having some light fun as if it's medicine. Treat it as if it's an actual need, because psychologically it kind of is right now.
Beautiful. J Cupid, what message Spirit has for me? Great question. We do have the Sun and we do have the Magician. Spirit is saying, J Cupid, you the man right now. You are the man. Like, you have everything you need to step into your happiness. In fact, J Cupid, I get the sense that you are the source of light. And I love the Magician coming with this, because it's like everything you do steps you further into success. And you have all the tools, all the elements of your mind, your body, your spirit. But the message that's coming through is it's not so much that you have to get this. You want to go around to people and share this light, share your talents, believe in yourself, share your skills, and watch as everyone else's life is lighted up. You doing that will get you directly to what you truly want as well. So congrats, because that's badass.
That's super cool. We have next, we've got Pauline. Channeled message, please. Thanks so much. Okay. Okay, so it's like all about certainty right now. Like, it was like certainty. So have certainty where you can have certainty, in the form of like, do the information collecting you have to do, talk to the people you need to talk to. You'll be able to give yourself certainty in plenty of areas in life, but you can't have certainty everywhere. There's like a lot of things that will always be uncertain. Love, the most amazing thing in this whole world, is simultaneously one of the most uncertain things ever. Not of course the feeling of it between two people, but some of the ways that it reacts, and some of the ways that people have their differences. Uncertainty in some other areas are going to be just things that are outside of your control. So don't worry too much about being in control of everything or trying to get like a grip on it, because there's a lot of other people involved. And when you get into that habit of like, okay, well, I should be able to control this too, and this, and maybe once in a while this, you'll start to branch out to other people, and other people will always be a force that we just can't control. So certainty, I would say, just reevaluate everything that you're connected to right now. Reevaluate everything that you're trying to do, and reevaluate your friendships and relationships especially. And then just realize like, okay, thinking about it, these are the only real areas that I'm going to be able to have some certainty. Like these are the only real ones. Once I've let go of the rest of them, I'm going to have so much less on my plate. I'm going to have more time on my hands. I'm going to have like more mental energy to not use on that, and it'll help out a lot.
For Little Bear, Black-Throated Wind, my gifts and abilities. Your gifts and abilities at first look don't seem that big a deal, but they're huge. Represented by the Justice and the Hermit, you have the gift of justice. Well, let me not just say justice. Righteousness is going to say you know how to look at a situation objectively, and you know how to tell who's lying. You know how to tell who's fair, which is important because certain people can be so biased that they unknowingly take a side. That is nothing you ever have to worry about. You know how to look at a situation objectively, which is one of the greatest gifts anyone can have. And as the Hermit card, one of your spiritual abilities is the ability to discern on your own, where other people may be giving you advice and opinions, but you draw directly divine wisdom and guidance from source, which once again, like it's not one of those like powers that are the most popular, but it's one of the most important because it affirms that you don't need confirmation from other people. You can trust your own inner wisdom, and it works greatly with being objective. And Justice is Libra, and Hermit is Virgo, so that's awesome.
That's super cool. Yeah, that's sharp intuition right there.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that says message deleted. It's the one at the very top of the list. I can do that one. I'm not sure whose name to call. Do you have a name on yours?
No, it says message deleted there too. So you
Okay.
can go ahead and
Whoever deleted their message. Let's see. Re-pulling that back up. Okay. Well, I think that they'll hear it. I've got a good feeling about it. Let's pull a card. We've got Four of Swords. So message deleted. Now is the time to be really grateful for an opportunity to rest and to take that opportunity to rest and rejuvenate. Where the Three of Cups is all about celebration, the Four of Swords is much more about the restfulness and the appreciation of that restfulness. Taking some time to understand that things could be so much worse, and taking the time to understand that in order to avoid things getting so much worse, really get some rest right now. It doesn't just apply to literally sleeping. It also applies to, get some rest when it comes to maintaining things that are unnecessary distractions, maintaining things that are, like if you're not feeling social, just don't go right now. Like just don't go to that party. It's okay. No one's gonna, it's no one who's really your friend will judge you for that. Like just take some time and get some rest.
Sweet. 22 and motive. Purpose for the new Virgo that just appeared. Let's see. Oh, okay. That's who it was for. 22 and motive was the message deleted.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I'll do Danielle Becker and Wolfgang Amadeus. Okay, so for D Lady Manhattan, the spirit message we have is the Ace of Pentacles. Look to a new income stream. And if you have any opportunity to invest yourself for a fresh new start, a new job, a new project, fully invest in that. And congratulations in advance. And Wolfgang Amadeus, we have the Justice card, which is saying to look at every relationship in your life and what relationships are not holding accountable to integrity with you. Where are you being unfair? Where are they being unfair? And confront each other about this. So, but the justice is also an important decision that has to be made. And doing this will help you make those decisions come the new moon next week.
That is awesome. All right, healing our world together. Let me take a look at what's here for you. We have Knight of Coins. I love Knight of Coins. Okay, so Knight of Coins gets it done. So healing our world together, you absolutely can heal the world. Right now, what it's asking you to do, what the world wants you to do, what your inner spirit wants you to do, is to really find out the things that you're passionate about, the things that you really love to do, the things that seem kind of irrelevant or like you'll get around to them again someday. Find ways that you can fixate on those things, perfect those different things, and then profit from that perfection. And of course, it's not literal perfection, but reach your state of mastery with these things you love to do, and allow opportunities to create themselves. And of course, if you have the decision to do it, like create them, create those opportunities. Your passions aren't, it's not, there's a lot of people that categorize it as like, I have my job and then I've got hobbies and things like that. There's a lot of times where your hobbies can become so much more than a job ever could in a lot of different ways. And now's the time to really, focus on that, to fixate on that. Find the things that you love to do and start doing them. It's just going to be really reparative to your spirit.
Leslie, we have the Lovers card. Interesting. It came with the King of Cups, but I also got the Five of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. And to me, that says that your soulmate, Leslie, is a very emotionally mature and compassionate individual who is currently lost in love. They they're they're holding themselves back from making the choice to love because they've been hurt before, and this will gradually turn into something that's fruitful. It's saying for you to definitely open up to love, but just be mindful. If you find that someone is distant, it's not really you. It's more so them having to come to terms with their emotional baggage that will stabilize, as we see with the four moving forward.
Oh yeah. Annie, what's the deal with this new Capricorn guy? Let's take a look at this new Capricorn guy. Let's see what his deal is. So with this new Capricorn guy, it looks like there's definitely some fun on the horizon. I would say, honestly, engage in communication with this new Capricorn guy and really go for some of the deepest questions in your arsenal. Not as a test, not as like a game or anything like that, but genuinely just position some of the really tough questions. It feels like this Capricorn guy at first is going to almost like recoil from that for a second, but then he's genuinely going to think about it and answer it. And there's some genuine connectedness here. So the Three of Cups is saying, honestly, just like go for some of the things that are really important and just have fun with it. Like really, really have fun with this.
Sonia San, who says, will I meet a committed guy anytime soon? The Six of Swords is Mercury in Aquarius. Mercury is going to enter Aquarius January 24th. So we would say latest then. That'll be when around Aquarius season you can. Although I totally believe when I do timing with tarot, it's not really just that date. I kind of do a time range. This is saying that also a committed person you may meet is probably going to be a long distance connection at first, and to not really let that deter you. This really promotes great conversation. So it would not hurt to look online and date online to connect with this person.
Sensei, energies concerning a specific situation. So I'll do some cards for this, and then it looks like the Peace Dealer can do some cards for this, and we'll see what's coming up here.
Cool.
Got a lot that wants to happen here. Okay, wow. So lots of water. There's lots of water all over the place. For starters, we've got 10 of Cups, okay? So 10 of Cups is a card that a lot of times shows leadership through communication. It's like a call to action that says, okay, for you to be a leader right now, for you to really utilize your strength as a communicator, now's the time to really talk to people, even if it feels like it might not be a time that you want to. You almost want to sort of be behind the scenes. It's sort of like a Cancerian energy sometimes, and it's like I want to be behind the scenes. I want to let other people kind of fix this right now. But it's very clear that, you have the strength of this like Phoenix figure here, and you're in a place of uprising right now. So like take the reins and use communication as your leadership tool. And a lot of times it feels like, well, isn't it better to be more forceful in this situation, or to be way more, lackadaisical and relaxed about this in this other situation? It's like, honestly, it's all about balance right now. A positive, assertive communication is what's necessary. Now, it's not like everything's serious though, because clearly the oncoming energy is like Ace of Cups. It's like, there's a lot of positivity here. There's a lot of good success and a lot of strength that you can draw from all this time stepping into the form of leadership in these relationships and in these friendships. But if you dig into the happy side of it, I don't even want to say the positive side, the things that genuinely are there to make you happy. If you dig into that, the result card is the universe. And the universe is suggesting that this sets an expectation. It sets an expectation that if you are involved in a relationship, a friendship, a career path, etc., that you're going to use communication to gain your leadership. You're going to use your leadership to increase positivity amongst you and other people, and that that positivity amongst you and other people will create sort of like your foundation, will create your world or your universe. And then of course it creates the persona of like the King of Cups, the great communicator, the ultimate empowering figure. The King of Cups specifically though isn't about, it doesn't want to like be on a stage just telling everyone why they should love themselves. It wants to genuinely empower everyone so that they can go on and empower other people, and that they can go on and create kingdoms, and those people can do it. So honestly, it's like, now's the time to dig deep into a power you already know you have. You already know you have it. You have the ability to say with just a few simple words exactly what it is that needs to be said. And it can be difficult, but it'll also bring up a lot of positive emotions too, and leadership.
What's up with Sagittarius? Sagittarius be generous with the donations, yo, the tips. Damn, thank you. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna move on to Sarah Rose. We have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, which is definitely speaking of you coming into greater health in your routine, but also being creative, emotionally creative with what you're doing. And Sarah, you're like on the brink. Like you have your own personal, unique way of making money. You want to kind of embellish more of that creative inner child. The page means it's at the beginning stages. So definitely be open to any new messages that allow you to adapt like so as well.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
We have Alexa, procrastinating, need a way of taking action. Okay, well, I'll help you with that, Alexa, because I'm a master procrastinator myself. I can convince myself that it's necessary to wait a little bit more time in situations where it shouldn't be possible. Okay, so let's take a look at what needs to be seen here.
Oh, nice.
5 of coins. Okay, so the drive here is going to be like your heart center. Drive here is like, some situations, of course, concern just you. It's just you who will be affected. If it doesn't really work out, it doesn't work out. So procrastination doesn't really have like a threat level of any kind. 5 of coins is suggesting that there's a lot, though, that is really important to you in your long-term future. And a lot of people, of course, around you that you absolutely love. So 5 of coins is suggesting whenever it feels like, well, it's okay if this one particular thing goes to the wayside, or I wait a little bit more time. It's like, honestly, like, really stick around and do it, especially when it's difficult. Because if you can start to get yourself used to doing it when it's difficult, when it's easy, you'll do it like you're some sort of master at it, like it's just the easiest thing in the world. So right now, just sort of use your heart space as the motivator, and say it's not about a mantra. You can practice something and build good habits, of course, but it's about really just like feeling what you're doing it with your passion, doing it with your feeling, and letting it encourage you to do even more. That's what I feel.
Beautiful. Mercedes, why do I keep, well, first of all, let me address this first question. Somebody had said, oops, what does it mean that I was flying naked in my dream in the sky? Right? Let me see if I read that right. Yeah, what does it mean to have a dream of flying naked in the sky? Well, I see that as freedom. I think it's your soul being free. Your subconscious wants you to be more free, or it's not really a prompt, but I mean, it's the ultimate nature of freedom. Not only flying, but you're naked. It's like everything's out, which is awesome. So, to do the next card, why do I keep seeing my ex BF Nate? Will he contact? Well, we do have the 10 of Cups. There is great potential for you and your ex-boyfriend to get back together and also to make things work. Mercury is retrograding, so he may contact. But with this, I'm not in the philosophy of waiting. If you feel like you want to connect back with him, maybe you're seeing his name because you should reach out and maybe patch things up. Now is a great time while Venus is retrograde. People say don't get in relationships during Venus retrograde. I disagree. I think that you shouldn't rush into a relationship during Venus retrograde, but you definitely want to, confront where necessary and be in a position to, see what's up.
I like that, and I hear that a lot too. I hear that like, no, you should never make any relationship decision during retrograde. I'm just like, well, I mean, life continues to happen. Like, if someone's like, do you want to break up or not? Like, it's kind of important you do have that talk. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, no, I agree. It's like, don't rush into it. Don't just like be like, I don't know, I'm just gonna see if this person would be a good person to marry. I just met him, but like, I just really feel good. And it's like, yeah, well,
Russian roulette.
Oh, she appears that she's married already. Whoops, it's like, it's just, it's all kinds of stuff.
Actually, I have a question for you because I saw this in a post yesterday. What happens? What do you do if your soulmate's married? It was like a funny question, but
that's a good question. I would say, well, so we first have to address the soulmate dynamic that I look at it as versus the way that they might look at it. A lot of people would look at it like a soulmate is someone that you have to be with or that you're destined to be with. And I hear that philosophy, but to me, the soulmate vibration is something very few people in your life have, but that there's multiple, and that that vibration of soulmate or twin flame vibration is a goalpost. That's something the two of you are capable of, not something that's guaranteed. And so you have multiple options, not just one. But let's say you meet that perfect person and they are married. If you talk to them and you're a genuine friend with them and you're honest with them and you're honest without expectation, you say, I love you, or I like you, or I'm feeling this towards you. And that doesn't mean that I expect you to feel the same right now, but I'm letting you know this is just how I feel. And I'm not trying to jeopardize anything. I just have to be an honest person because I genuinely care about you. What will happen if you're only not trying to be friends with them, but only being honest with them, and of course not doing anything you shouldn't, is they'll start to, subconsciously probably create a juxtaposition in their mind between the way that you would handle a situation like that and the person they're with. And if they want to spend the rest of their life with the person that they're with instead of you, that's fine. That's totally their choice. But there's a good chance that if it's a genuine vibration that is so much more powerful than what they are currently with, that it will slowly work itself out. Whether it's that they start having problems that happen to be the things that you and this other person are really good with, such as communication, for example. If you're really good at communication, you communicate with them all the time, you guys talk, you get each other, you listen to each other with real respect, not pretending. And then the other person that they're actually married to is not a good listener and they can't communicate and they don't do these other things. It always works itself out. Like they'll start to draw comparisons and be like, well, it looks like I know what I need in a relationship, So I guess that's the best I can give for an answer, is like, if it's really meant to happen, quote unquote, it's going to happen. But in most particular cases, like, just be honest, and then you'll see the full power of the vibration. You'll see the full power of that if you're honest, and don't like hold it back. Like, no, but this person is like, with this other person. Like, don't hold it back. Just say what you genuinely feel. And if it's really the soulmate, then they'll understand because they're a soulmate.
To add on to that too, the peace talk that I just did right now before you, the guy that I had on there directly said that he shared his feelings with someone, like, I know, and she was like, I have a boyfriend. It's like, I'm not trying to get in between you two. I just wanted to be honest about how I feel.
Oh wow, yeah.
And personally, I have a soulmate who's married. I actually have someone that I realize I have a deep connection with, and she's married, and I didn't really, it was weird because I didn't really take that as, it's end, it's over for me. It's like it helped me understand the soulmate dynamic a lot more, where it's like it's not really about centered on romance. It's like, this person has a partner who she's sharing her life with, but like they at some point we could still honor whatever we're meant to. It may not even be that we're meant to do anything together in this lifetime. We have Pisces composite energy, so it's probably more dream realm energy. But it's like you never know, because you never know what may happen in the future. You guys might start talking later, but at least there's just not that expectation. It's you look at it more objectively.
Well,
but
and the thing is, a real authentic connection will always be more powerful than a pretend marriage, no matter what. True. Not even in particular with that marriage that you're discussing, but like a real connection. You remember that guy or girl from 10 years ago that you met them once and you guys had this conversation and there was this bubbling energy and you felt it while you were in a relationship. So you didn't do anything because, of course, you had to follow the rules and, you had to make sure you didn't do anything wrong. But you remember it always because there's something special about a real authentic connection. It'll always be the heaviest weight. Always.
Yeah. So I see Aries next. She donated twice, so we could just go back to back.
That's right. Okay. Do you want me to do mine first?
Yeah, go ahead. She wanted general insights, I believe. Nice.
Okay, wow. All right, so for starters, we got one of my favorite cards again. So tonight's been great for getting a lot of repeat cards. Like the energy is just so strong. So Knight of Wands. So
your card.
Yeah, it's time, Ari, for you to intentionally step into the fire. There's like a very particular challenge that you're about to take on. It might be the Viridian Summit. It might be some other things that are happening in life. But it's very clear that stepping into this challenge is going to be just basically the price tag for evolution. It's all you have to do. If you do it and you do so bravely and you pay close attention to how you're doing what you're doing, this is going to help shape shift you into something completely new. There's also a level of just like when it comes to your abilities here, this solar plexus chakra and root chakra intensity basically shows there's going to be this level of once you've gone through this challenge, you literally stand firmer, you stand taller, you feel more empowered and more connected to your body and to your strength and confidence. Now, this, of course, leads to the King of Coins, right? So you've got this connective and powerful relationship with strength, financial abundance, and being able to help other people, not to constantly throw out all your money and like other people, like you're just constantly saving them from situations they should be taken care of. But you're the responsible King of Coins, and you're making it so like, okay, this person needs this and I'm investing in them. This person needs this and I'm investing in their heart. I'm investing in their spirit or what they plan to do or their project or the things they love. Now, honestly, the only thing that's really required here right now, the thing to focus on most, is this hermetic moment. This moment of the hermit where you basically say, okay, is there anything remaining here in the darkness? Is there anything remaining that I need to remove from what I'm doing or the way that I'm doing it? Is there anything that's holding me back? Because we've all got bad habits, and those might take a lifetime to fix them all and things like that. But is there one particular thing, like a fear of this, this, or a fear of that needs to be cut out? That needs to be cut out. Once you've answered that question, if the answer is yes, do it. Do it because the challenge is fast approaching. I mean, with the Knight of Wands, I would always feel like a couple of weeks is the time frame. So you've got a big challenge coming, and it's time to face that.
Amen. K. Martin asked a great question. Is there such a thing as the soulmate that got away? It is totally possible to have missed chances and opportunities. Once again, I'm an example too. There have been points where I have not shown up, where I've had to, and somebody has to move on. But the thing to know is that it's never over. It's never that you have to wait for that one, because energy always comes back in new form. Just like I probably didn't show up, they probably met someone better. or someone who's like me, and vice versa. So it's important to never feel like you lost your chance forever. Sometimes we drop the ball. And Starry Ari, I got the Five of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Justice card. And like I have three different interpretations. So the first thing I immediately thought of was a contract. But before I get to that, is I think there's a legal loss someone's going to suffer to where they have to pay you up. So if someone has been like holding back on paying you back money, now they have to because it's like the law is involved. I also get that you have been really coming to terms with ancestral karma that has affected your personal life and the self-esteem of being you. And it's like your decision to finally resolve that is allowing you to give of yourself and to come into like probably signing a new contract. When I see the Ace of Pentacles and the Justice, to me that's usually like an official new beginning. It's not like just beginning a business. It's like beginning a business and opening a S corporation and signing it on paper so it's official. But the other interpretation is like you kind of are, I think you held back out of resentment or out of feeling betrayed, and I think you're being the bigger person, and you're now in a position to give of your talents to a more established order. I'm shaky on that last one, but yeah, definitely the first two. And yeah, sweet. Who do we have next?
I did Ari, you did Ari, so I guess I'm Carrie Ann Pearl.
Did you do Mercedes? Yeah.
You did Mercedes.
I did Mercedes. All right, I'll do Carrie on.
Okay.
I did. Yep. Any message for results on giving up ganja and alcohol for 40 days? Okay. We do have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is saying find a Capricorn friend, find a grounded, earthy woman, and have her keep you accountable during these 40 days because she will be on you. She will make sure you don't and it's also saying you definitely have the capacity. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who is very controlled and mature, and this is you. So congratulations in advance. Your decision to give it up for 40 days is going to be successful, but you definitely want to find this lady who's already around you, and she'll help hold you accountable during the process.
Next, we have Moon Bay, which is a really cool name. And let's take a look as far as dark interferences when it comes to a twin flame journey. So let's take a look about those interferences and how we can become more immune to them, how we can become stronger against them. All right. So first of all, Seven of Wands is very clear. So let's take it back for a second. So Six of Wands is going to be this big old celebration. There's like this parade. You throw it for yourself. You just achieved something. It's really wonderful and great. Seven of Wands is the next few days. You're like, okay, what do I do with my life now? I just achieved something really great. What do I do? So with this interference, now's the time where there's like a plateau. There's like a time of a little bit of quietude and a little bit of uncertainty. So during this uncertainty, this is when you are most vulnerable for negative influences. And those moments between achievement and then trying to figure out what on earth you do next, it's like that's when you're very vulnerable. And so honestly, one of the important things right now is to be very honest and to persevere. To really just like everything you're doing, do it with honesty, do it with love and compassion the most that you possibly can, but understand something very clearly. The Sun card again. I swear between the two of us, we've drawn the Sun card like 100 times this tonight.
For real.
Sun card again. So honestly, this perseverance isn't endless waiting. It might feel like it for the next couple of weeks, but the Sun card is suggesting that everything's about to be revealed, and once it's fully revealed, it's going to be much easier to gauge where you're at. But just remember, the Sun is honestly like it's in your heart space right now. That sun of protection, that sun of revealing light, the sun of looking at these dark influences for what they really are and seeing the true measure. Dark forces always feel like they're an ocean, but really they're a little bit more like a fish tank as far as like how big they are and how, influential. But they feel like an ocean, and they
Wow.
respond like an ocean, and they spread around and mess things up like an ocean. So now's the time to understand, like, oh, you're not so great, actually. I'm casting a revealing light on you. My heart space sees you for what you are, and I'm the powerful one. My positivity is stronger.
That was a really great analogy.
Thank you.
Trich NYC 123. I would love a message about my twin flame, how he's feeling about me and our connection at this time. So your twin flame, we have the Emperor, which is great. We have a direct significator card. This is someone who is very much so a man tapped in his masculinity. If not, he's working on it. And as far as how he feels about you and the connection, we have the Three of Cups. It's nothing that's too romantic. It's great. He's focused on having fun with you. He's focused on developing your friendship together. And he does feel like you're someone he can celebrate his accomplishments with, which is great. It's definitely great to see in terms of a twin flame connection too, that promotes greater growth and love. Wait. Nice.
I second that.
Um,
Is Sana next?
Good question. We have Sana Kadora.
That's such a cool name, by the way.
It is, yeah.
Let's
I
see
agree.
what comes up for you. Ooh, okay. So we've got the Eight of Swords, one of my favorite cards of all time, because of its potential, not because of the starting point. The starting point sucks. Starting point is
Yeah.
okay. So right now it feels like you've got this thing you want to do in life, and it feels impossible because, let's just say it's being an artist. It feels impossible because look how many people try and be an artist, and you know what the odds are that you'll actually become one. Look at your work versus this other person's work. Don't you realize that you're barely approaching mediocrity and they were great and powerful? You just cut all that out. Like, now's the time to remove all those types of thoughts. The only thing that they do is hold you back. It's fear masquerading as logic, and it's not true. It's not true. Anyone who does anything in this world seems like they're insane or unintelligent before they successfully do it when it's new, right? Wright brothers must have seemed pretty insane. Everyone who's ever invented anything must have seemed pretty insane. Eight of Swords is suggesting now is not the time to allow those negative thoughts, which are basically, they pretend to be realistic. They're very unrealistic thoughts. Not to allow those to rule you. Don't allow anything to rule you. Allow yourself to remove the blindfold, take the swords out of the ground, and walk into a different direction. Walk into the open gate, because just because the fortress walls are super high and you can't climb them, that's true. You can still walk through the gate. It's open. Like, it's open right now. Like, there's all these different battlements and barriers and different things that are in the way, but there is a direct path, and it's called just trying your best and finding out where you land. Like, it's scary, but like, it's true, and you have what it takes to do that.
Nice. So White Cascade says, I've been seeing the number 33 for years. So I've been seeing synchronistic numbers for years, but 33 is getting ridiculous. Any channeled message on why I'm seeing 33? They do say that 33 is the number of ascended masters. Honestly, when I hear that, it says the ascended masters are around you. That doesn't do anything for me. I don't really understand that. There's certain people who work with ascended masters, so it'll work. And there was a time that I saw the number 33, and then I saw an ascended master card. So that is true, that whole notion. But I feel like for you, this number 33 is your mastery. It's you in a cycle of mastery. You're ready to really teach something very important, like ascended masters do, as they are master teachers. So we do have the Ace of Pentacles. This is coinciding around a new idea, do you have any new financial ideas? Because you may not realize they're $1 billion company that doesn't seem like one, because it's just a seed. So definitely know you're being supported through any new financial investments that are being made, which is
Ace of Pentacles is so great.
I love it.
It's always such a good energy.
So we are AMP Goddess, and she donated twice. So you can do one for her, and I'll do one for her.
Excellent. All right, let's do it.
Word.
Oh my God. This is wild. Okay, we've got the star card again. The star, the sun, the three of cups. These cards have been coming up so many times during this reading.
Her question actually was, what is the universe guidance about this job?
Well, the universe's guidance about this job is honestly, it's really important to first evaluate the patterns of your past. What have you settled for specifically in the past? What have you watered even though it didn't grow in the past? And then compare that to what you're experiencing now. It's a lot of times we feel like we get so trapped in this linear path that when something, something new is basically too good to be true in pretty much all cases, it's really not. Compare basically what you've accepted in the past versus what you deserve. And to find out what you deserve, compare it to if someone that you loved and cared about asked you the same question or was asking about this particular situation, would you tell them to settle for that or to be extremely excited about that? Or would you tell them to go for it no matter what? That's what the star card is telling you. It's a little bit hopeful. It's a little bit flowy, but honestly, the star card really wants you to make a solid decision and to trust it. Like really trust yourself on it. Just all you have to do, just compare yourself to the past right now and find out what the main differences are between the two of you, because you're ready to be different than the past you.
And to add on to it, because I did get, for what's the guidance of the situation, the Eight of Pentacles is urging you with your job and with the situation, work your hardest. Like make sure whatever you're doing is quality. And the Judgment card is talking about a change of consciousness. Like it looks like while you're focused at work, there'll be an awakening. You'll be aligned to your true life's purpose. But this is predicated on you being so focused on the quality of your work. Someone's going to recognize it and put you in an even greater position. There could be stuff that is exposed, but not a bad type of exposed, a good type of exposed. Like, wow, look at how hard you've been working. Look at the quality you have given. So that's it. It's been 2 hours. I love connecting with you, man. This is awesome.
Me too. Yeah, it's funny. I'm very absorbent with the energy that I'm around. So I noticed the way I'm reading is a little bit different since I'm reading with the Gemini. I'm just like, yeah, and this and this and this and this and this is just like going super fast, like all like crazy mode. With the Libra mode, normally I'm just like, yeah, so it looks like this card is saying this, So it's been really fun. It's a really nice vibration.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I could say the same too. I think I'm a lot more present instead of just being all over the place.
Right. You're all calm. You caught my calm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Shout out to Jim Kincaid in the building. So we're going to close here. We'll definitely be back to do hexagonal readings. We could probably do it like twice a month or once a week. We'll see. But yeah, other than that, make sure you guys hit up. I'll bring it up again, the whole summit. That's going to be awesome. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks for having me, man.
Awesome. And yeah, until next broadcast, do you have any final words before we leave?
Well, I guess just to recap, everyone who is in the California area at all, or even in this, if you're on planet Earth, okay, head to the Meridian Summit on November 10th. Okay, it's from 10 p.m. Pacific time. Everyone's doing it. It'll be the coolest experience of a lifetime. We literally are going to bring woolly mammoths back from extinction during this event, metaphorically. So that's one of the promises we can make.
Be there,
yep,
or be square. And yeah, until next time, y'all. Peace.